It goes without saying that Gege Akutami Jujutsu Kaisen is the anime smash hit of fall 2020. Jujutsu Kaisen took the whole anime community by storm, and it isn't going anywhere anytime soon. What's up, anime lovers? In today's video, we will be looking at the top 10 things you should know before watching the anime. Be sure to stick around till the end, as number 10 will blow your mind. Number 1, the manga was a sleeper hit. Given how quickly Jujutsu Kaisen took the anime world by storm, it may come as a bit of a surprise that the manga took a while to find its groove. First published in Weekly Shonen Jump on March 2018, Jujutsu Kaisen managed to sell a decent, if not spectacular, 600,000 copies at best. But as the months went by, something clicked with readers. Sales kept increasing before skyrocketing by 400% in a year's time. In October 2020, the latest volume, Volume 13, and reprints of previous ones sold a record-breaking 10 million copies worldwide, in both print and digital sales. The anime's stellar reception helped boost sales even more. By industry standards, these figures are unprecedented for a mangaka's first major work and a title that's currently 2 years old at most. By the way, guys, like and subscribe, but don't do it for me. Do it for this awesome anime. Number 2, there are light novels. As is tradition in the manga anime industry, massive success inevitably leads to spin-off and/or supplementary material. Jujutsu Kaisen got this in the form of 2 light novels released in the past 2 years, namely Jujutsu Kaisen, Soaring Summer and Returning Autumn, and Jujutsu Kaisen, The Path of Roses at Dawn. The first book follows Yuji and takes place between his temporary death and the Kyoto Sister School Goodwill event, where he helps a cursed child who can't seem to stop resurrecting. The second centers on a day in the life of Nobara, where she bumps into a powerful curse user while shopping around town. Number 3, the manga has a long way to go. As of this video, Jujutsu Kaisen is at chapter 129, which is the 46th part of the ongoing Shibuya Incident arc. The arc is the manga's biggest yet, where October 31st arrives and Geto's plans finally come to deadly fruition. All of a sudden, Shibuya becomes a supernatural battlefield, with many curses and sorcerers either getting brutally injured or outright killed. By the look of things, Shibuya Incident is the perfect grand finale, but it's anything but that. In fact, things are just getting started, as Geto's plans are only in their initial steps, and the main trio, Yuji, Megumi, and Nobara, still has a lot of maturing to go through. Akutami said that while he already knows how the manga will end, the path going there is fairly free. Number 4, the lore was inspired by Evangelion and American horror movies. When it comes to occult-based shonen manga, Jujutsu Kaisen isn't exactly original, but it stands out thanks to its psychologically frightening lore. Here, the supernatural isn't just a gateway to the afterlife or powerful zombie ghosts for the heroes to beat up, but a mix of Lovecraftian horror, Freudian monstrosities, and humanity's fear of death made literal. This shouldn't be too surprising when taking Akutami's inspirations in an interview. Akutami took notes from Neon Genesis Evangelion, specifically its use of biblical imagery and the man versus God conflict, to create his world and mythos. This makes Akutami's tease about Yuji's mother not too surprising, especially given Evangelion's severe parental issues. He also credited Get Out, Hereditary, and found footage horror movies for influencing Jujutsu Kaisen's brand of scares. Number 5, the magic system is a mix of a Hunter x Hunter and World Trigger. Long story short, the magic system of Jujutsu Kaisen is centered on cursed energy and how sorcerers weaponize it. The amount of energy a sorcerer uses or summons is based on their feelings of lack thereof, making fights more emotional than expected. If that sounds familiar, that's because Akutami based his power scale on famous skills before his. Primary influence stems from Yoshihiro Togoshi's Hunter x Hunter, where powerful levels are determined by a character's use of Nen. Since this was all but perfected by Togashi, Akutami mixed Nen with some inspiration from Daisuke Ashihara's World Trigger, where characters channel energy through unique weapons and abilities. The end result is Jujutsu Kaisen's use of cursed energy. That said, a side effect is that the system can be too complex for its own good. If you think number 5 was informative, wait until you see number 10. Number 6. A major villain has shades of Thanos. Since Mahito was only just introduced in the anime, this section will be as spoiler-free as possible, especially in regards to what his ultimate goal is. One thing that can be teased, though, is his depiction. Even as an inherently evil being determined to wipe out humanity, Mahito can't exactly be blamed because he's just acting out of his purpose. Akutami did this to avoid the cliche of evil villains being secretly good, instead aiming to make readers understand Mahito is not wholly despise and or agree with him. Mahito can't be proven wrong from a certain perspective, which Akutami compares to Thanos in Avengers Endgame, especially because he couldn't exactly hate the Mad Titan. Number 7. Gege Akutami has many notable artistic inspirations. While classically trained in art school, Akutami looked to his mangaka predecessors for artistic inspiration. His clearest influences are fellow Shonen Jump creators, namely Yusuke Murata, the artist of Eye Shield 21 and One Punch Man, Kubo Tute, Bleach, Masashi Kishimoto, Naruto, and Togashi. The latter makes a lot of sense, especially since Akutami went out of his way to emulate Togashi's style, and there are many parallels between Yu Yu Hakusho and Jujutsu Kaisen. On the most surface levels, both stories star normal high school boys who become the center of conflicts between the living and supernatural realms when they unwittingly become the linchpin. Number 8. Gege Akutami credits Yoshiro Togashi the most. Speaking of Togashi, Akutami credits the Hunter x Hunter and Yu Yu Hakusho mangaka as his main inspiration. Akutami has always been fascinated by Togashi's storytelling techniques, from his paneling to the way he makes gimmicks work and how he expertly recontextualizes past events through flashbacks. The biggest influence Yu Yu Hakusho had on him was through the Chapter Black Saga, aka Sensu arc. Sensu is a powerful demon hellbent on wiping out humanity, and yet readers felt sorry for him. Akutami applied this morally ambiguous look at clearly evil characters to his own stories. Number 9. Yuji based on Gege Akutami's older brother. For some, Yuji is as generic as a shonen protagonist could be. Only now he acknowledges that death is rather terrifying instead of yelling about friendship to give himself a power-up. This isn't too unwarranted a criticism, but it ignores a personal truth behind the protagonist's creation. Akutami revealed that Yuji is actually based on his older brother, who is basically his polar opposite. From Akutami, his brother was the best at everything. Whether it was sports or studies, he applied this logic to the infallible Yuji. It can be guessed that Yuji is also the best traits of both Akutami and his brother put into a hero who's willing to put himself at death's door if it means saving others. Number 10. The series is about the thin line between good and evil. Drop a like if you made it to number 10. If it wasn't obvious yet, Jujutsu Kaisen isn't going to be a flat shonen action story about a good boy beating up a bad guy. Rather, it's about the morally gray no man's land found between the forces of good and evil. When asked what his message was, Akutami reflected that there are no clean-cut heroes and villains. In his words, humanity can be a scourge, so when a villain wants to kill mankind based on their own sound ethics and logic, some viewers inevitably side with them. That's not to say Akutami is wholly misanthropic as much as he believes in people's potential to be good and evil. If no one is purely right or wrong, no one knows the absolute moral truth, meaning everyone has to find it their own way. And that's it for the top 10 things you should know before watching the anime. So, which one of these were the most surprising? Comment down below, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Check out one of the amazing videos on screen.